Welcome back, everyone. I'm Nick,
My name is Taranjeet Rathore.
Kyle Wilson.
I'm Maddy.
and these are tips for CRNA school. And to start it all off, for those who don't know what to expect to go into CRNA school, how would you describe it in one word?
Describing CRNA school in one word. I think I would say illusion. There's a lot of illusion that CRNA school is very difficult. There's not a lot of information out there, right? So there's a lot of narratives out there. However, for people who think that CRNA school is impossible, I think that's an illusion. It is really, really hard to get in, almost even impossible, as some might argue, since the competition is racking up so much. However, the real fight starts when you are in the program, because there are long hours, classes are hard, personal problems, relationships, financial problems. Life does not stop. Life will continue to life, but CRNA school will also be there, and it should be the most important thing for the next 3 years of your life. If you make it your priority, I think the whole narrative that it's impossible, that illusion will definitely go away.
If you're thinking about CRNA school, it's probably important to know what your rough daily schedule is going to look like. So let's get into it.
Hey y'all, I'm Maddy. I graduated in 2021 from Charlotte, North Carolina. Every program is a little different. Mine was didactic focused up front, so that meant that most of our classroom and lectures were done in the first year and a half. They started off with our physics class, our basic anesthesia classes, and we incorporated pharmacology, physiology. During that time, we were going into the operating room, so we started out 1 day a week, then transitioned to twice a week, and then went into 4 days a week when we were doing our rotations like OB, heart, peds, regional.
My name is Kyle Wilson, and I graduated CRNA school from Arkansas State University. While I was in school, the day-to-day is different depending on when it is. Didactic, you're waking up 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. You're studying, you're reading, you're in literature, and then you go to class around 9. You're in class from 9 until 2 or 3 in the afternoon with exams, quizzes, and lecture. And then you go home. And my day was, I would go home, I would knock out all my discussion boards, and I would start looking in Apex and Prodigy and Valley, just whatever I had for the agenda that day. So starting out, clinicals were very rough. You kind of feel like you have imposter syndrome, that you shouldn't be there. And so as you slowly start to progress, you realize that I can do this. But once you start rotating through your specialties, it starts to get easier. You're waking up, you're getting to the hospital at 5:30 in the morning, and you're not leaving until at least 3. Sometimes you're staying late. Depending on where you go, you may be taking call. You may be there on the weekends. If you're taking call, you may get there at 3 p.m. and be there until the next morning, 7 o'clock, until someone comes and gets the pager from you. While you're on call, you're putting in central lines, you're intubating people in the ICU, you're starting arterial lines in the ICU, and then you're doing all the cases that get posted. But for the most day, it's about 5:30 in the morning until about 3 o'clock. And then you get home and you have to do Apex.
Hello everyone, my name is Taranjeet Rathore. I am a nurse anesthesia resident or a SRNA, senior SRNA. So currently I'm in my clinical portion of education. So at this site, I pretty much, first case is at 7 a.m. So I strive to get there by 5:15. I like to be the first one in the room, make sure my machine is good, I have all my equipment that I need. By 5:30, by 5:45-ish, I'm all set with my room in terms of whatever I need, machine check, everything, all supplies are stocked in. And then about 5:45, 6, I go say hi to my patients. We have about 7 a.m. start, so our CRNAs roll in about 6:45-ish. So up until from 6 a.m. until 6:30, 6:45, I have enough time to do a pretty extensive pre-op for my first patient, of course. And then I present my plan to my CRNA about 6:30, and then usually they are on board with it, and then we go ahead with it. Usually my days are about 12 to 14 hours. I never ask my CRNAs to go home. They usually just tell me when to go home, and that's how it is. It's just how I roll with it. Then I come back home about 6, 7, sometimes 8 p.m. Every day is variable. Study a little bit, prepare for the next day, and I do this Monday through Friday every week. Sometimes I do weekend call. It just varies.
So now that we understand the rough daily schedule for CRNA school, now it's time to understand what's really going to help you once you get into it.
I would say my study group. The ladies, shout out to Kelly and Mitchell and Aaliyah. I couldn't have done it without you guys. Having a group to study with is something that I would encourage anyone going through school. You know, there's no reason to do it alone. Like, you need support. And having people that truly understand what you're going through can bounce ideas off you, can help quiz you, prepare you for exams when you're working together. That's definitely what helped get me through school.
Good quality trait, studying in a group and holding each other accountable. You bring something different to the table. You may read something else that they didn't read, or they may read something else that you read. But when you study as a group and that group is very close, you're able to hold each other accountable, and you don't want to be the one in there that's slacking and falling behind, because, like I said, your group will hold you accountable. I don't really know how to find a study group. Whenever you hear people discussing things in class, you kind of know like who you would get along with and who you won't get along with. If you have someone that's really argumentative and you know that you want to stay away from them, or if you have someone that y'all read the same thing, or you cover the same thing, or they mention something what they've taken from text versus what you've taken from text, you may realize that it's doing more harm than good, and then all of a sudden your study group changes. You'll know if it's a match or not. If they're taking away more time, then you need to study by yourself. And if they're, being productive, a lot of nonsense going on, you can sit down with your study group and y'all can get stuff done. Then it's productive and it's gonna yield you good benefits.
So finding your study group in school is a great way to kind of break up that workload and manage stress. So managing your stress in CRNA school is very important. So let's take a look at some other ways you can manage your stress while you're in school.
Something that was important for me has always been exercise and moving my body. I think that is something that's really key for my mental health. And so I was fortunate to do some work trade at a yoga studio in Charlotte, which was awesome. Getting to be able to take classes and really use that hour to just decompress from the day made a huge difference for me. As well as getting a dog, which might not have been the smartest decision, but having that person to count on me and, get up and take her out for walks and good study break walks was definitely something that was meaningful for me in school.
So while moving your body is important, it's not going to help you pass those exams. And not everybody's a dog person. So let's take a look at some other resources that'll help you get that A.
I would say the best resources that you're going to have is probably your Nagelhout and then your Jaffe books. And then don't be afraid to really use Apex, Valley, and Prodigy when it comes for board prep. And then there's an app called Vargo. If you don't have Vargo, I would highly suggest getting Vargo. It's an expensive app, but when you start clinical, it's going to help you out a lot, because it has all cases, kind of what the plan is, what you should look for. It's just a good pocket textbook. I kind of held off on Vargo for probably the first year of training, and then one day I just broke down and I bought it, and I was regretful for not buying it sooner.
Even with all these resources, there's still a lot to know. So let's take a look at what else you should know that they don't want to tell you.
I think no amount of textbook teaches how to read a room, right? It's a lot of interpersonality skills that you learn while you're on the job. For example, certain surgeons have certain political stance, and sometimes they will say stuff that you do not agree with, that you do not align with, that doesn't represent you, and you really have to bite your tongue. And no one teaches you that, right? One thing that I have learned is that every clinical site that I go and rotate, it is an interview. I'm not there to win any political battles. I'm not really there to argue with someone. It is their turf. I am a guest. I'm a guest in their home, and they have welcomed me with their open arms to learn. So I try to do my job as best as I can, and I try to be nice and kind to everyone. I have realized that being kind to everyone goes a long way. There's a lot of different personalities. So that's one thing that textbook CRNA school never teaches, but you just learn it on the go.
Learning on the go is super important in CRNA school, but it's also super important to prepare the best you can. So let's take a look at how you can best prepare on getting into CRNA school.
If you're wanting to apply to CRNA school, the very first thing you need to do is get into an ICU. Once you're in ICU, you want to take the sickest patients that you can and learn from those patients. Every medication that they're on, every vent change, every vent setting that they have, every lab that they have come, you need to know why you're seeing what you're seeing, and the interventions that you do, the orders that you see, you need to know the why behind what they're doing. So take the sickest patients, take the ones that no one else wants to take the fresh hearts, take the fresh cranies. The second thing would be to get your CCRN. Once you get your CCRN, that study material is what is going to be used for your interview for CRNA school. So after your CCRN is knocked out, then I would look to see what schools you want to apply for, see what their qualifications are, see what you have to get into CRNA school, make sure you have all those knocked off, and then your next biggest hurdle will be the interview. The interview process is probably your make or break. It's very stressful, it's very difficult. You're going to be sitting down with your instructors and directors for your programs, and they're going to ask you questions that they already know the answer to. It's either you know the answer or you don't know the answer and you will go look it up. But for the interview, I would say that you really need to focus on what you studied for your CCRN. Those are going to kind of be the same questions that they ask you in your interview. Don't try to make yourself look better by talking about something that you think will impress them. They know more about it than you do. Make sure you're competitive. Whenever you step into your interview, you're going to be selling yourself. You want to make sure that your GPA is as high as it can be. If there are classes that you need to retake, biology, chemistry, if there's any of those classes, any science classes that you need to retake that you got a C in, and they see that you got a C in and then you later got a B in, they're going to ask you why'd you do that. Prepare an answer for that. Just make sure you're as competitive as you possibly can on paper and then in the interview process also. The interview process is where you're going to get into school. You can look great on paper, but if you get in there and you do not do good on your interview, you're not going to get to CRNA school.
A tip I have for someone who's pursuing CRNA school or someone who's in the process, I really want you to believe in yourself. I really want you to believe in yourself. There will be times where that imposter phenomenon will kick in and you will be like, am I even good enough for this? It happens to me every day. However, I want you to reflect on your high grades. I want you to reflect on your competitive and challenging ICU experience. I want you to reflect on your critical care knowledge when you come to that, and face a situation where you feel like you're not good enough. You got into CRNA school for a reason. So whenever that imposter phenomena whispers in your ear, I want you to tell yourself that you got in this place for a reason. People who choose the admission committee, they have experience. They have tons of experience. They know who will survive in a CRNA program, right? So you are here for a reason. So I want you to reflect on that whenever that imposter phenomenon kicks in. And whenever you reflect on it, you will thrive, not even just survive.
So hopefully this was able to help, but if you have any other questions or need some other help, feel free to reach out to us on any social media platform at CRNA Locum Jobs. So happy CRNA week to everybody, and good luck.
Goodbye, everyone. Good luck.
Good luck. You got this.